Thanks, Mfowethu. I'm on top of this.
I don't want to comment on that.
No,
See,
Deputy Chief. You can think. All the question requires of you is your understanding of this response. Even assuming that you did not think of it at any other stage, or maybe even if you were to say, no, I had never had sight of this before, but as you read it now, what do you think it means? Surely you can think, and I don't mean this as an insult, but it's just that I don't understand your response, Deputy Chief. What do you think this means as you're looking at it now?
Much as I indicated, Commissioner, he says I'm on top of this, but I don't want to make assumptions for the CFO.
I'm not asking for assumptions. I'm asking for you to think and tell us, as you read this, what do you think it means? The context of everything else that you know, that you have said, and even the purpose for which you had forwarded this to Sergeant Nkosi, in the context of all that, when you look at this now, what do you think it means in that context?
In the context of what we spoke about, I'm thinking that he's assisting Sergeant Nkosi with his request.
Thank you. It was not so difficult after all. Please do not be evasive, Deputy Chief. To put it differently, but meaning the same thing. So the CFO is saying here, Sergeant Nkosi, this is your and my list. Do you agree? He means, Sergeant Nkosi, this is your and my list. Do you agree?
I don't agree, Commissioner.
Yes, Mr. Chairperson.
So, are we back in the world of CFO pronouns, and that when he says this is ours, Mfowethu, he means this is yours, Mfowethu?
This is...
You see, he asks Sergeant Nkosi, this is ours, Mfowethu, question mark. Are you saying that he's asking there, is this your list, Sergeant Nkosi, as opposed to, will you confirm that this is the list of you and of me?
It might be that he's confirming for him to say he has received it. It's ours as they refer to each other. I mean, as brothers, they are one. So it might be a list of Sergeant Nkosi, but even if he says ours, he might not be referring to him being included on it.
Suspended Tshwane Metro Police Department CMPD Deputy Chief Umashi Dlamini has rejected allegations that political parties interfered in municipal procurement processes, telling the Madlanga Judicial Commission of Inquiry that claims linking the economic freedom fighters and the Action SA to irregularities are unfounded. Dlamini resumed his testimony on Friday before the commission, chaired by the retired Constitutional Court Justice Mbuyiseni Madlanga, where he sought to clarify his role in events sounding a controversial security tender. His appearance forms part of a broader investigation into alleged corruption and maladministration within law enforcement structures and municipal systems. Central to Dlamini's testimony was an encounter with two individuals identified only as Musi and Sipho, whom he said he knew from their days as student activists. According to Dlamini, the pair arrived at his office claiming to represent the EFF, a claim he now firmly disputes. He told the commission that based on his prior knowledge of the two men, he believes they falsely presented themselves as EFF representatives in an attempt to gain credibility and influence, and said, I know them from our student days, and I do not know them to be members of the EFF. Adding that both individuals were historically aligned with the ANC. Dlamini further testified that Musi and Sipho attempted to strengthen their claims by invoking the name of suspended City Tshwane Chief Financial Officer Gerrit Mnisi, suggesting they were acting in coordination with him. However, Dlamini told the commission that this assertion was also untrue, and said they indicated that they were with Mr. Mnisi, which I knew was not the case. They thought I had a way through this process to assist them. The two men allegedly went further, claiming they were working directly with the EFF leader, Julius Malema, Dlamini said he found this claim equally unconvincing and viewed it as part of a broader pattern of name-dropping to lend legitimacy to their approach, and said people name-drop and tarnish people's names. These are youngsters I grew up with in Soshanguve. I did not take their claims at face value. Despite his skepticism, Dlamini acknowledged that Mmusi and Sipho presented him with a list of companies they wanted to be considered for a lucrative security tender linked to municipal infrastructure. Instead of verifying the claims directly with Mnisi or other officials with the city of Tshwane, Dlamini chose to pass the information along to a third party. He told the commission that he forwarded the list to his associate, Sergeant Fani Nkosi, a suspended officer in the SAPS Gauteng Organized Crime Unit. Nkosi was tasked with comparing the list to another set of companies that the duo had claimed was already in Mnisi's possession. This decision drew sharp criticism from Justice Matlanga, who questioned why Dlamini failed to take a more direct and accountable approach by contacting Mnisi himself. The chairperson pointed out that verifying such claims that official channels would have been the most logical and responsible course of action, and said this is not about closeness or personal relationships. This is about Tshwane business. You had access to the contact list. Why did you not simply pick up the phone and call the CFO? What are you saying does not make sense at all. In response, Dlamini maintained that he did not have a working relationship with Mnisi and instead relied on Nkosi due to their proximity and familiarity. He described Nkosi as someone he had mentored and trusted, referring to him as a young boy he had helped guide. Dlamini also used his testimony to distance himself from political involvement, more broadly stating that he deliberately avoided engaging with politicians due to his past experiences, and said, I made a decision a long time ago not to engage with politicians for personal reason. I don't talk to politicians. I avoid politicians because I have a history in politics. However, his explanation did little to satisfy the commission, which continued to probe inconsistencies in his account. Dlamini further revealed that Nkosi had informed him of alleged meeting involving representatives from both the EFF and Action SA, though he claimed Nkosi did not disclose that related communications had been sent to Tshwane Deputy Mayor Eugene Modise. According to Dlamini, Nkosi later indicated that a message had come from the CFO referencing Modise and contacted him to suggest the significant developments were unfolding behind the scenes. I said it seems there is high contestation in the political sphere, characterizing the situation as one marked by competing interest and political tension. Meanwhile, the Action SA leader, Herman Mashaba, wants to give information to the Madlanga Commission about Joburg corruption. He said, when I was a mayor, I uncovered 35 billion rand worth of fraud and corruption, and I'm on record fighting with the Hawks and with the National Prosecuting Authority for not proceeding with these cases. So for me, I welcome the commission. Gazing into Johannesburg, I really can't wait. Mashaba said most of the information about what he discovered is with the City of Johannesburg's group, Forensic Investigative Services. This is a unit he established when he first came into office as a mayor to investigate fraud and corruption. This unit has faced some controversy with some political parties demanding its closure, and that those cases are there and some of them are clear as daylight. Meanwhile, the DA in Johannesburg has also welcomed the Madlanga Commission's interest in the City of Johannesburg. Belinda Kaiser stated that for years, the DA has demanded transparency and accountability in all tenders involving city entities including Johannesburg Water, City Power, Johannesburg Roads Agency, Johannesburg Social Housing Company, the Metropolitan Trading Company and the Johannesburg Property Company. She said the city's security contracts must also be thoroughly investigated, and said councillors have consistently been obstructed in carrying out oversight, with entities refusing to provide clear answers or withholding critical information. This has forced councillors to rely on Promotion of Access to Information Act request simply to access basic records. The DA has already escalated these concerns to the Special Investigating Unit, calling for an investigation into the city's reliance on water tankers as well as lifestyle audits for senior officials. What's your take on this one, people? Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more news.